Is this thing on? I think we are.
Well,
Yeah, I know we are because now it's fighting with me.
Awesome. There's something to look forward to. More fighting.
More fighting with the video equipment.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Operator error.
Yeah. Stand by. We're having technical difficulty.
Yes, we are. We need that little thing that used to circle around. Anyway, today we are playing with Elizabeth's new long-stemmed floral foam stamps and
Action!
action! All right, I gotta put that down between my knees. And what we have is a nice
Oh, we
group.
gotta wave them around. Everybody likes it when we do this with them.
So we have to wave.
It's like being at a basketball game.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
that's
the
right.
ears. Those were so fun.
Yes,
Look at this.
they were.
It's a peacock headdress.
Very beautiful. It looks marvelous on you, darling.
It makes a good hat.
14 brand new long stem floral foam stamps. I knew we were going to screw it up. Way to go.
Take two.
Long stem floral foam stamps, 14 of them, marvelous, lots of flex, lots of play, lots of fun. We had such a good time working with these, and
We did.
We did. Elizabeth, let me let you talk about what you did, and I'm gonna pick up the clapper before I drop it.
What did I do?
You did Woodies.
Oh yeah, Woodies. Yeah.
Woodies.
Yeah. I forget. I just did it like 2 hours ago. I color these with Woodies and then stamp them, and they are like watercolor effect. Not only do they stamp like watercolor, but then once you stamp them, you can bleed them like watercolor. It's pretty cool. It's very cool.
It's pretty awesome because the Woodies will reactivate with water, so you can go in and monkey with them after the fact.
Yeah.
That's a fun thing. And I'm using distressed mica stains because they are my favorite, and you can re-wet them too, so you can monkey with them after the fact. We had a really good time with these. I'm doing I'm not doing long stem. I'm doing number 10 panel cards or slimline cards, and Elizabeth is just stamping to stamp and show you. She's using the Yasatoma rice paper because it bleeds and it does all kinds of fun stuff.
This is probably the first time that you could say that you were doing long, tall, and narrow things. You usually do small things.
It's because I'm small.
Right, I know. I usually get tasked with the big things. We did have a lot of fun. And the other thing I want to say about the water-soluble stuff, no matter what you do, you have more time.
Yes, yeah, you can go back and rework and do whatever you want. If it dries up, you just mist it with water. It's good to go.
And you don't have that rush like you do with acrylic paint, like worrying about it drying or sticking. Not that we don't want to advocate that you use them with acrylics, but I think we both enjoyed using a medium that gave us more time.
More time. You know what we didn't say?
What?
We're in Sedona at the airport.
Oh yeah, is it not obvious? We're in Sedona at the airport,
Yeah.
and this is one of many spectacular views here. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. So peek over our shoulder, enjoy the view, and then we're going to show you how to have some fun with these stamps.
There you go. Okay.
All
Are we
right.
still in the frame? I can't tell. You're not.
Are we on? Is this thing
There we
on?
go. Okay. So today I am announcing another set of long stem botanical foam stamps and a unique way to use them by applying Stabilo Woodies and stamping them in a way that looks very soft and watercolory, and I just love it. So here are the stamps. It is a set of, I can't remember how many, so let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 new designs. Aren't they fantastic? And what I really like about using the Woodies with these is being able to blend and apply multiple colors in a blend. So like the way that I blended sort of the pink to the green in this one, and the way that I created like a two-tone with the blue and the purple on that one. So you use the Woodies and you add the color and then you can stamp them. So let's explore that, and I'll show you how fun this is. Okay, so I'm using my favorite pad of rice paper, and I'm using rice paper because when the stamp is wet and you stamp it onto the rice paper, it's going to bleed out into the paper to a certain degree because this paper is so absorbent. And I really want these to have a soft watercolory feel. So this paper works excellent for that because of the way it takes the color and absorbs it and pulls it out a little bit, and you get a really nice soft edge result. So I'll get a couple sheets of this, and I'm sure this would also work on watercolor paper or some other paper, but I really, really love the way the rice paper works. And then if I wanted to glue these down into my collage work, they would also glue down without wrinkling and really well. So I've got a couple sheets of that, and when I have previously colored all of these with the woodies, and what I learned when I went to stamp these, because then I spritzed them with water, and the water will reactivate the woodies, but when I spritzed them and stamped them right away, they didn't transfer that well because they dried on here real solid. So if you want to color a bunch of them ahead of time, or if you have to step away and you don't get to stamp them right away, what you want to do is spritz them and then let the water sit there for several minutes so that it reactivates the woodies all the way down, and so that when you stamp them, they release all of the color. So okay, so Barb and I are in Sedona, as you know, and we do not always have the benefit of having all of the supplies that we have in our studio. So we picked up this spray super mister at CVS, but I have found that it just disperses water kind of heavy. You may have seen me in the past using a spritzer that is available on Amazon that is an ultra fine mist, and I have a feeling that that would be better because it applies just a real light, fine coat, whereas this is pretty super heavy, even when you try your best to make it light. So let's start with this. So I'm going to be using the Stabilo Woodies. Let's see, where did my pale green go? And I think I need to sharpen that one. The Woodies come with if you buy them in a set, they come with the proprietary sharpener. And if you don't buy the set and you have to buy the sharpener separate, it's about $7 or $8. So it is a good idea to buy a set, and then you can buy the pencils individually if you want to supplement additional colors that didn't come in your set. One set comes with metallic, one set comes with the basic colors and metallic, and another set comes with the basic colors plus pastel. So you could buy one set or the other and then add the metallics or add the pastels. For example, this is a gold metallic that I bought as an individual pencil. And this is a pastel that I bought as an individual pencil to add to my basic set. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is mist the stamp. And because this mister, like I said, is giving me really too much water, I'm going to dab a little off. But if you use that ultrafine mister, I think you're going to see that it works better. And then while the stamp is damp, we're going to put the woody right on it. And because the woodies activate with water, they are going to apply a nice thick and go on real easy because the water is actually melting into the woody. So you want enough water, but not too much water. That's the tricky part, isn't it? So now we're going to work kind of quickly while this is still damp. And if you don't get the best results, use less water, or maybe you need a little bit more water. You have to play a little bit. Depends on your spritzer and how you apply the water. So I'm leaving the center of this one that blue, so I can come in here with this nice light pastel purple and put that on the tips. And then at this point, because I'm in Arizona and it is very dry, I can already feel that the surface of this stamp is dry. So now the key is for me to mist it just enough to get it wet to stamp it. Because it hasn't sat here and dried like the ones that I did in advance, it should release, or it will release a lot easier because the woodies are not completely dry on there. They are on the ones that I showed you. So I'm going to just pull this back as far as I can and see if I can get a fine mist. If I mist from afar. And then let's dry that off of the craft mat. And now I'll bring in my rice paper and stamp. And it really didn't release as much as I thought it was going to. I've had some really good luck with this, so I think we need to add more water. Maybe wiping it off. I didn't need to. Like I said, you know, it's an experiment, and even for me, it doesn't work all the time. And I could edit that out of the video, but I think it's important for you to know that it's about experimenting and kind of figuring it out. So I'm going to get heavy application so that I get good color. Okay, and now I'm going to get it a little bit more wet. Come in here and see if I can get a better transfer this time. That's a little bit better. But not as good as like this one that I did in the beginning when I was preparing for the video. So let's try it again. Let's go heavier with the water. Maybe I'm just not giving it enough water. And if I go heavier with the water, maybe I don't spritz it before I stamp it. There we go. We're getting better now. It's slowly getting more intense on the stamp. All right, maybe the fourth time is the charm. I've also got some dark green I could add in on the stem, kind of with the light green. All right, let's see what happens with this. That's pretty wet, so I'm not going to spritz it again. There we go. That's getting a little better. And you can see how it's bleeding in and bleeding through. And I love that watercolor effect on the stamp. So that's looking really beautiful. And when the paper dries, it'll look even a little bit different because on this transfer, when the paper was wet, you couldn't really see it. But you can see how you get that nice watercolory kind of rough edge. The softness of the stamp application is totally different than when you put acrylic paint on it and just, you know, stamp it and it's real crisp and solid. So this one is really kind of beautiful that way, that it's soft. And the other thing that you can do, of course, is you can come back and reactivate the woody with a paintbrush and sort of blend colors and even soften edges more. So let's try another one. And again, like I said, you can blend. So I can bring in some light blue and sort of blend in with that purple to create a different color. And I like that a lot too. So the woodies, when they're wet like this, we're blending. And now I'm creating sort of a periwinkle color by adding light blue to the purple. So I'm actually creating a color that I don't have in a pencil. Okay, so here's the stem. I love this really light lime green for this. Okay. And then I am going to spritz it again. And stamp. Now it's important to remember that you're going to get the mirror image when you stamp. So when your flower is facing that way, when you stamp it, it'll be facing this way. So if you're working with it in a composition, you need to remember that. Oh, here we go. This is lovely. Look at that, how watercolory and soft that is. I really like the way that came out, and that worked the first time. So moving a little quicker and adding a little more water than I thought. Let's do this one again with the light. You can see there's still color on here, so I think I can add more. And again, because it's water soluble, it wipes off really easily with a wet paper towel. You don't have to worry about it drying on the surface of the stamp and ruining or, you know, changing the texture of your stamp. You can just run it under the water or wipe it off with a wet paper towel. I'll show you. They're super easy to clean the woodies off. So let's stamp this one. There we go. That one came out really nice as well. And again, that nice watercolor kind of appearance. So say now we're ready to clean it. I'm just going to spritz it again. And I've got the towel I've been wiping the table with, so it's damp. And then I just press it in. And it's pretty completely clean. And if you want it to be more clean, you could run it under the water in the sink, but that is pretty perfectly clean. So you don't have to worry, again, about the woodies drying on there or staying on the surface of the stamp. So let's see, I've got another one here, the long skinny one. Let's do a whole different color combo with this one, although I do really like the vibrant green for the stem, but I'm going to put that on this time, and then I'm going to blend some of the darker green into it. So we'll have like a medium green. And then at the top, let's do some orange. And then I'll blend in the peach with that to lighten that color. And I even could add a little dark purple in like just areas of it to give it like a little bit of a two-tone. And we'll do the same with the stem. We'll add some light area and dark area for some shading. And then we'll spritz it. And stamp. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful. Really nice watercolory feeling. Blending, absorbing and blending into the paper, dark and light, and kind of real watercolory edges. And I'm going to show you. See what kind of brushes I have with me. I've got a little bit of a, not really a watercolor brush, but sort of a flat shader. So let's get that wet and I'll show you how you can sort of blend, soften the edges even more, and spread the color to sort of fill in. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I love that. So like on this one, we can blend the color and we can get some real beautiful watercolory effects by coming back in with a brush. And I'm just pulling up water from the surface of my table. And I love the way it blends here. And you could even come in with the woodies on top and add in some color like that. Like this. And then blend that. Really, really fun. So I've got one last one that I wanted to demonstrate for you. This one, you'll have to forgive me. I don't know the names of them at this point because they're brand new, the individuals, but it is the long stem botanicals, and they're more floral focused. So I don't even know if Barb and I have come up with a title for them yet, honestly, but they're floral. The previous set was more of like a seed pod focus, and these are more of like a botanical focus. So here I'm putting dark green on the outer edge of the fern, outer tips, and right below. And then I've got light green up the middle and light green on the stem. And let's put some dark green at the bottom here. And then spritz it. We'll bring this back in and stamp. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Now we got the hang of it. Look at that. With the variegated green, light in the middle, dark at the end, and light and dark on the stem. And again, this one's looking really nice that I went in and softened and then added a little bit of woody on the top, as well as this one. Look at the beautiful watercolory effect we have, and the edge of that one being purple. And the variation of the lights and darks, it really is beautiful and soft. And I am so happy with the way that these woodies work with the foam stamps. So that's my new line of designs I'm super excited about.
You saw Elizabeth use woodies to put color on the stamp and then mist and go ahead and print them. Because I love shiny stuff, you know that I do. I'm going to come back and I'm going to use the Distressed Mica Stains. Tim has made these available and I'm in heaven because I really love them. I use them a lot and they work really well, though you might not necessarily think that something as liquidy, as thin, as water-like as the mica stains would work. They actually do pretty well. Now, nothing is perfect. So one thing that I did want to mention, in the past, I have put fresco finish or another very matte paint down and stamped over them with the mica stains, and it worked just fine. But with shiny paint, like what this is, and I want to say that this is probably some of the Sparks and Art Alchemy paint. I don't know what else is on there, but this is shiny and slick enough that I didn't get as good an impression. But the way to fix that is to come in with a Pitt pen and just outline around what's there. And it kind of fills in the blank so that your eye sees what it should see if this was a little bit better impression. And then on this one, I did the same kind of thing, and I decided after the fact to spatter, and obviously that's a little bit different because sometimes it covers up. So what I've done instead is I've gone ahead and I've spattered a couple of the number 10 panel cards so that they're ready to go and I can stamp over the spatters. So I'm gonna put these colors out. I have Holly Branch, Shiny Bauble, Merry Mint, Jack-o'-lantern, Fortune Teller, and Cocktail Party. Those are the ones that I'm going to work with. And even though I'm going to kind of mix some orange and purple and green and purple, it's not going to make a mess because I'm not going to really mix it and agitate it. I'm just going to lay one on top of the other. So I've got my stuff over here and I'm going to start putting color over here. Now I'm going to kind of arrange this and I'm going to just give these a quick rinse. I'm going to arrange this as how I think I'm going to go ahead and ink the stamp. So I'm going to put some of the lighter color down here. That wasn't what I meant to do. Oh no, that is Merry Mint. Okay, so now I'm going to up here. Let's see where I am here. Up here, over here. Yes, I'm going to put, I need to shake these. I'm going to put some of these three colors so I can ink my stem, and then I'm going to come back and I'll ink the head of the flower or whatever the piece is, because I've got a couple of different ones here that I need to actually get. It would help if I had them handy to stamp. And you're gonna wonder which ones they are, and I'm gonna apologize and tell you I can never remember, especially when this stuff is new. So these are three of Elizabeth's release of, whoops, wrong way, of long stem florals. She might have said long stem botanicals a couple of minutes ago in her part. Ignore her, she's wrong. These are long stem florals. So I'm gonna use this long one. I'm gonna use this one that's quite solid and this one also that's quite solid. So let's go ahead and get this started. I'm going to start with the long one. I like to fill in the height first. Let's work on the craft and see how that looks. So I'm going to tap, 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 and I want to get my stem covered with greens. And you can see that I haven't. Let's put a little bit of the green up on the bottom. And then I'm going to maybe put a little bit more green in there. And then I want some purple. And that looks like I have pretty good coverage. Put a little bit of orange in there just for fun. And you know what? There's not quite enough in the middle. So what I'm going to do is, and again, with these stems, you have the option to kind of bend them and shape them the way that you want. So I'm going to put that down like that. and just go ahead and give it a press and then lift. Ooh, very pretty. I like the way that color travels. And the nice thing is if you let the color dry in here, it doesn't matter. Distressed mica stains are re-wettable, so all you have to do is put them in the sink and you can rinse them off. And then I'm going to grab this one. And again, I'm going to come in and I want to pick up the color. All right, so now let's mix some of these colors. And what I want to do is make it look like these two stems are originating from the same place. So I'm going to kind of go along and match the stem up, or I'm hoping I'm matching the stem up. It's never easy to do this when we're filming. Not bad, not great, but not bad. And I'll show you my inspiration in a second. And I want more holly branch here. Okay, and then for this one, what I'm going to do is I want more orange because I don't have quite enough already. And then I'm going to accent this with a little bit of the purple here and there. And then I want different heights, so I think I'm going to bring this one over here, and I'm going to let that stem go kind of straight. Now, ordinarily, I would leave this alone as 3s, although honestly, this should have been a little bit lower. So let's just play. I mean, I'm just playing. I'm not trying to make great art here, although I'm sure if I sent it to somebody as a card, they'd be thrilled. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. And now I've got a little bit more. Oh, I like that. I've got a little bit more differences in heights there. So this is easy enough. Now I've got room in here that I could write a sentiment. I could add some borders on here, which would be very easy to do with a Pitt or Posca pen. And I have the whole reverse side here that I can write a sentiment or a message or journal on, whatever it is that I want to do. So the other thing that you can do, this is the inspiration. This is what I was playing with a little bit earlier. I didn't like this as much because the background was really plain, and that was why I spattered after the fact on this one, but again, after the fact is probably not so perfect. So here are a couple of envelopes. Obviously, these are the Astro Bright envelopes, and you can stamp on them in such a way that you leave room for the address, and on the back you can put your return address, but it makes a nice matching set to go with these cards. So these are the first release of Elizabeth's long stem floral foam stamps.